Hey everybody, welcome to my newest series, Navigating Middle Age and Getting Older. And here I sit complete with my shirt that reminds me of my past. I'm sure we'll get a lot of comments on that. But this is part two. I've been kind of vacillating between replaying my old series, which was the Happiness series, and this new series about some of the struggles we all deal with as we age. Um, so, we're all aging, we know that. Every day we get a little bit older. But one of the big struggles I've found over the past, I've had a lot of time to think since this COVID epidemic um, hit last March. And one of the things that I was able to get some clarity on is why I struggle with thinking like the best parts of my life are behind me. And I'll say this probably a couple times during this video. This is a continuing struggle for me. It's nothing I have solved, so I'm trying to solve it, even as I kind of give you guys some clues as to how to help deal with it too, because I've been told by other people I'm not alone in this. So, yeah, you get to a certain age, here we are. So, the people that are watching this are all different ages, but this is primarily directed at my colleagues that are 40 and above, and some of us 50 and above, and some even older. Struggling with thoughts like maybe the best parts of our life are behind us, and that we're longing for that youth, longing for the things we did in our youth that gave us a lot of joy. Um, I got two quotes today that I want to start with. One of them, they both come from kind of unorthodox sources. The first one's from the finale of The Office, one of my favorite shows, favorite later day shows. Andy Bernard, we all know the Andy Bernard character. He says during the finale at one point that it would be nice to know we're in the good old days before we leave the good old days. And that really speaks to a lot of what I've seen, which is, don't we often not really appreciate times while they're happening? And it's only later on, sometimes even years later, that we say, man, that was a good time. I missed that. I wish I could go back and do that all over again. But when you're actually going through it, obviously those thoughts are not in your head. The other quote that came to mind is Ferris Bueller. He says at the very beginning of the movie, your life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. And I think we all do that. I tell people this sometimes, and people call me crazy, but one of the positive things that came out of that horrible COVID epidemic, and it was horrible, was that we all got a chance to slow down a little bit. We all got a chance to slow down. Life was going so fast. Technology was moving so fast. We all got a chance to kind of regroup. We were home for a while. Some of us for an extended period, and we got to know our families again. We weren't just blurs coming in and out the door. If you're like me, though, what my pattern has been over the years, prior to COVID, is just kind of living in the past, thinking the best parts of my life are behind me. Saying, "Oh, I missed this time, I missed that time. I wish we could go back and do this." And then 5 years later, missing 5 years prior. So it would become a cycle. It's a vicious cycle. Constantly missing the past, and then the present of today becomes the past of tomorrow, and then you miss that. And you never fully live in the here and now. So you're not really living life, you're just kind of looking backward. And like I said, it becomes a vicious cycle, and it's even, it's more than really a cycle, it becomes a lifestyle. That's what I had made out of it, was this chronic lifestyle of looking backward. And then 5-10 years later, I'd be missing the period of time where I was looking backward to the 5-10 years before that. So I've been trying to break free of that habit. I will admit it's not easy. It's really not easy. So a couple of clues as to things I'm working on to kind of help me not do that. And maybe it'll help you. Number one is cherish the time you have now. Cherish and appreciate what's going on in your life right now. Okay, whatever you're going through in life, now I recognize if you're going through a life-threatening illness or something horrible like that, I recognize this isn't always possible. But for most of us just living an average everyday life, there are things we can appreciate that are going on now. Now they're different than the things of our past, and they may not be as exciting, but they're still positive things. To give you an example, a lot of our kids, people my age, our kids are getting older. And no, we don't have the joy of the first Christmases or the first time they walked or, the first day of school. But, seeing them grow, seeing them become adults and go to college and things, these are great things. And I try to remind myself every day, no, it's not my daughter crawling up on my lap and saying, Daddy, read me a story. But it's still great nonetheless. And another way to cherish time is not to waste it. And that, I'm a big culprit, guilty. Big sports fan. Okay, I love sports. A lot of you love sports. One of the downsides of sports is it's a big time commitment, whether you're playing or watching or whatever. I've been a diehard Celtics and Miami Dolphins fan since I was knee high. Here's the problem with that, and I'm not downing sports. I love them. Even as we speak, I'm getting ready for NBA free agency in a few hours. But even as we speak, I'm thinking, all those games that I watched, how many of them do I really remember? All those games, maybe I didn't do stuff with my kids. Instead, I was like, yeah, I'm watching the Dolphins game, whatever. That's a real regret for me. Because like I said, I'm not down in sports, but my time might have been better spent with something I would remember a lot more today and look more, cherish more greatly. Secondly, is the stuff you're going through now, the good stuff, document it. And by document it, I'm not talking about the million selfies people take. Everybody takes those and when you put them on Facebook, put them on social media, they're all on your phone. Maybe you switch your phone to a new model, they get lost. Think of remember our dads were chronically taking pictures, maybe slides, and they were there forever. So don't just take a couple of selfies and think this is great. Document, and by document, I mean write down your feelings at that point. Start writing again. I do this. Write down how I felt about this. So when you look back on it years ago, you can really not just see photographs, but really remember how you felt in the experiences that you had. That's so valuable. Years ago, I started to write a pseudo memoir of my childhood. I got busy and stopped. I got up to about, I think, 8th or 9th grade, considering starting it up again. Maybe I'll even put it in a book. Not that anybody be really that interested in it, but I need to get back into that. Writing down just how things felt, just so years from now I can really have a full picture of what my life was. So that's it for today. Just simple advice. Advice I'm trying to take, because full disclosure, this is a big struggle for me. And just doing these videos is helping me, because to help other people is how I help myself. I've learned that. That's another lesson that the life has taught me. I used to just be in it for myself, and now I realize that the true joy comes from helping other people. Sometimes I forget that. So, looking back on the past, it's fun. It can bring a smile to your face, but it's no way to live. Because I had a couple quotes to start. Let me leave you with a quote to finish. Billy Joel told us in 1983, the good old days aren't always good, and tomorrow's not as bad as it seems. Peace.